a lovely show. Massive thank you to all of my guests, Mrs. Hinch, Orna, Rosie, Alex for keeping us on air, Simon, and all of you lovely lot for listening. I'm not here next week. I'm up in Mountain. Don't know if I've mentioned. The lovely Anita Rani's going to be looking after you next week live from 3 p.m. But until then, as ever, this is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 6 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. BBC News has learned that magistrates' courts in England and Wales were told to approve bulk applications by energy companies for the power to enter people's homes and forcibly install prepayment meters. The BBC has obtained advice given last month by the official in charge of issuing guidelines to magistrates, the National Leadership Magistrate, saying it would be irrational not to grant such warrants to energy suppliers. Our business correspondent Noor Nanji says this mass approval was on a large scale.
Every day last year, over 1,000 warrants of entry were granted to energy companies, and mainly in order to forcibly fit these meters in people's homes. Now, we've obtained this new internal advice to all magistrates, which reflects that there was some sort of internal disquiet that the process had been watered down.
President Joe Biden says the United States is, in his words, going to take care of a suspected Chinese spy balloon that's been tracked flying over American airspace. The aircraft has caused a diplomatic row between Beijing and Washington. China insists it's not being used for spying. A sixth police officer involved in an incident which led to the arrest of Tyre Nichols in the US state of Memphis has been fired. The local police force said that Preston Hemphill had violated multiple department policies. Mr. Nichols died in hospital 3 days after being pulled over and beaten by officers. Ukraine says it's recovered the bodies of 2 British men who died in eastern Ukraine as part of a prisoner swap with Russia. 28-year-old Chris Parry and Andrew Bagshaw, who was 47, were working to evacuate civilians from war zones when they were killed by shelling last month. Rugby, and Ireland have cruised to victory against Wales in the opening Six Nations match in Cardiff. The world number one side won 34-10, with Wales conceding 14 penalties. The Welsh captain, Ken Owens, says Ireland took advantage of his team's weakness.
We showed a bit of character second half. We kept playing, kept pressing, but it was just a little bit of accuracy at key moments, which has let us down. You know, we were against the best team in the world today, and they punished our errors.
And a Canadian teenager has won almost £30 million on the lottery with her first ever ticket. But the university student says she plans to finish her studies before spending her jackpot. Annie Green has more.
18-year-old Juliette Lemieux from Ontario scooped a $48 million Canadian dollar jackpot, becoming the youngest person in the country to win a major prize. She said she'd forgotten she'd bought a ticket, but when she checked it using a mobile app, the words "Big Winner" started flashing on the screen. But despite her new fortune, she's planning to continue her studies and hopes to become a doctor. She said she wanted to serve her community, adding that it's the work you do that will define you, not money.
And the weather, any rain will clear to leave a mainly dry night for most areas. BBC News, it's 6:03.